Good evening and welcome to Story Time with Uncle Sampire. Tonight we have a nuanced tale of the United Nations Monetary and Financial Conference and its economic effect on the world. I call it Building World Domination with Woods.
Once upon a time in the summer of 1944, in the wake of the devastation wrought by World War II, representatives from 44 Allied nations convened in the majestic Mount Washington Hotel in the serene surroundings of Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, for the United Nations Monetary and Financial Conference. Their mission: to rebuild a world torn asunder and forge a new global economic order. As they gathered in the hallowed halls of the hotel, the delegates found themselves immersed in a whirlwind of negotiations, debates, and discussions that would shape the future of global finance and shape the course of history. The Americans advocated for a system based on free markets and open trade, anchored by a stable currency backed by gold. The Soviets, meanwhile, championed a more centralized approach, with greater state control over economic planning and resources. The French proposed a bold plan to create a common currency and establish institutions to promote trade and investment across the continent. The plan was to establish a new international monetary system, one that would promote stability, foster economic growth, and prevent the economic turmoil that had plagued the world in the past. The delegates grappled with complex issues of exchange rates, currency convertibility, and financial regulation. In the end, a historic agreement was reached, the Bretton Woods Agreement. Under its terms, a new framework for international monetary cooperation was established, centered around the creation of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, IBRD, now part of the World Bank Group. The United States currency, specifically the dollar, was chosen as the primary reserve currency. The decision to use the U.S. dollar as the primary reserve currency conferred significant economic advantages for the United States, contributing to its post-war economic prosperity and global influence. Additionally, the Cold War is generally considered to have begun after World War II, with the breakdown of the wartime alliance between the United States and the Soviet Union. While the Bretton Woods Agreement itself may not have directly caused the collapse of the USSR, the broader economic changes it facilitated certainly played a role in shaping the global context in which the Soviet Union existed and ultimately contributed to its downfall. After the dissolution of the USSR, the United States emerged as the world's sole superpower, leaving it without a significant geopolitical adversary. This shift in power dynamics had profound implications for the use of economic instruments, such as the U.S. dollar, as tool of statecraft, paving the way for a period of American dominance and influence in global politics and for geopolitical leverage to achieve strategic objectives. Overall, the weaponization of the U.S. dollar reflects the broader intersection of economic power, geopolitics, and international relations in the modern world. While it can be an effective tool for achieving strategic objectives, it also raises questions about the ethics, legality, and unintended consequences of using financial instruments as instruments of coercion or influence. The end.
I hope you found this tale entertaining and informative. In closing, I will leave with a quote from the former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger. "It may be dangerous to be America's enemy, but to be America's friend is fatal."